So this is System 101, right? And the reason we even bothered to go here is because system is one of those way overused words. There's lots of them in nonprofits and in social services. This one, system, we're not talking about a car or any kind of mechanical system. We're talking about a living system, right? We're talking about organizations and larger, right? So there are systems at all sorts of levels. It's two or more parts interacting to function as a whole within some sort of boundary. And we choose our boundary. We choose the boundary that we have. Just like here, you know, we chose a boundary of about 34 people, and this was where we were going to do our work. The elements and processes of a system, and I think you know this, we're just sort of calling it out, right? That the elements and processes interact and affect one another, often in ways we cannot see. So it's butterfly in Africa, and it's rainstorm in the Northwest. Thank you, Wally, for that. So, and then in the last is that in systems, the relationships among the parts matter. So if you pluck out a kid in a classroom, or take out somebody from a department, or shut down an organization because of funding constraints, the system, the overall system is affected, right? And we know that, we felt it. And likewise, if we introduce new systems, new departments, new kids, new people. So this is just a little bit of a systems quiz to make sure you get it. I think you do, but I'd love for you to just call out, think about us here, sitting here. We live in many roles, we have many hats, and we live in many systems. So what are some of the systems that are alive and well that we are a part of? Anyone? Family. That was my first one. There we go, thank you. They don't all have to be in the order that I put them in the book. Great. What's another system? Community system. Economic system. That's in there too. Couple more. Work system, education system.
Hobbies. Having fun.
Hobbies and having fun. I didn't put a picture of that. What does that say? Oh my goodness. Yes, absolutely. So here's an aerial of Hilltop. Very much so. Neighborhoods are systems. We're often part of the traffic systems, our traffic patterns and transportation systems. I've got healthcare here, education systems, economic systems. That's actually a real estate photo. I think that's a huge system that influences a lot of our economy these days. Culture. Oh, our cultural systems are huge. And talk about something that's a little more hidden, right? Sometimes. Great. Okay, so systems. Systems are everywhere, and there are, of course, systems within systems, right? We've got subsystems, too. So we've got you're warmed up with the idea of what we're talking about when we use that word. Let's move on to systems thinking. I got my training in systems thinking through a text and many others by Peter Senge in the Fifth Discipline. Is folks familiar with that? It's a popular grad school book these days and study book, even though it's 20 years old. The idea here of systems thinking, and he and Meg Wheatley and Otto Scharmer and many others have continued this work to help folks see, look at systems with a particular lens. So the thinking part is really sort of a mindset or a worldview, how we put on what we see when we're hearing about a complex issue. And what it typically drives is a certain way for us to ask questions about it. So again, this is in your handout. We talk about big picture, whole and parts. We talk about the connections, right? Paradigms. Paradigms, and Senge calls them mental models. What are things that we see as truth that really are just our assumptions, right? But it's the way we see the world. We look at unintended consequences. Often we'll only do this, you know, and I say that often when we're sitting around a table talking about something stressful, we put on this lens when we're feeling like our best self and feeling with greatest capacity. When we're under stress, it's hard. It's hard to take on this big picture, larger viewpoint. So, and then this next one here, this is the vocabulary word of the day, endogenous. Endogenous, so endo meaning inside as opposed to exo. So an endogenous viewpoint is one that says, not only am I seeing the system, I am part of the system. And so that means that when I move, everything else moves too. That means that I am part of the problem. That means that I am, this is my United Way nod, that I am part of the solution. Right? So that it means that we acknowledge that there is no one that is exogenous, other vocabulary, we're exogenous to the system, right? We're part of it. And that we focus on structure